Welcome back, Cyber Guardians, to another episode of The Daily Threat, your go-to source for the latest in cybersecurity news and insights. We have a lineup of stories that underscore the ever-evolving landscape of cyber threats. Let's dive right in. Our first story comes from the depths of cybercrime innovation. Imagine a tiny, innocuous Raspberry Pi, innocently sitting on a desk or plugged into a network, but secretly harboring the power to wreak havoc. That's the reality painted by a recent discovery reported by Bleeping Computer. This sinister innovation revolves around a piece of software, ominously named 700, that effectively turns the Raspberry Pi into a potent tool for evasive fraud. But how does it work? Well, let me break it down for you. The 700 software essentially acts as a Trojan horse, allowing cybercriminals to remotely control the Raspberry Pi device without raising any suspicion. Once installed, it can perform a multitude of malicious activities, from launching phishing attacks to executing ransomware operations. And what's even more concerning is its ability to evade detection by traditional security measures. Now, you might be wondering, how did the attackers manage to infiltrate these devices in the first place? It's a mix of cunning social engineering tactics and exploiting vulnerabilities in unsecured networks. By leveraging phishing emails, malicious attachments, or exploiting weak credentials, cybercriminals can gain a foothold on unsuspecting systems. But what does this mean for businesses? Well, the risks are significant. With the proliferation of Internet of Things, IoT, devices like Raspberry Pi in corporate environments, the potential for widespread compromise is alarming. From data breaches to financial losses, the implications of such attacks can be devastating. So, what can organizations do to defend against this emerging threat? First and foremost, it's imperative to prioritize cybersecurity hygiene. This includes regular software updates, strong password policies, and employee training to recognize phishing attempts. Additionally, deploying advanced threat detection mechanisms that can identify anomalous behavior on the network can provide an extra layer of defense. Our next story hits closer to home, demonstrating the real-world impact of ransomware attacks on local communities. In Gilmer County, residents and officials were left reeling after falling victim to a devastating ransomware attack, as reported by 11 Alive. Ransomware, as many of you know, is a type of malicious software that encrypts files and demands payment for their release. In the case of Gilmer County, vital systems were crippled, disrupting essential services and causing widespread chaos. But how did this attack happen? While the specifics may vary, ransomware attacks often originate from phishing emails, unpatched software vulnerabilities, or exploiting weak Remote Desktop Protocol (RDP) credentials. Once inside the network, the attackers move laterally, encrypting files and locking out users, leaving organizations in a state of paralysis. The consequences of such attacks extend beyond financial losses. They can erode trust in public institutions, compromise sensitive data, and disrupt critical infrastructure. And for smaller municipalities like Gilmer County, the road to recovery can be long and arduous. So, what can be done to mitigate the risk of ransomware attacks? It starts with proactive cybersecurity measures. Regular data backups, network segmentation, and implementing multi-factor authentication (MFA) can help minimize the impact of an attack. Furthermore, fostering a culture of cybersecurity awareness among employees is essential in thwarting phishing attempts and other social engineering tactics. And finally, we turn our attention to a concerning trend in the realm of ransomware. As reported by Dark Reading, ransomware groups are setting their sights on VMware ESG servers, posing a significant threat to organizations' virtualized infrastructure. VMware ESG servers, which power virtualization platforms, have become a prime target for ransomware operators due to their critical role in modern IT environments. By compromising these servers, attackers can encrypt virtual machines, VMs, en masse, causing widespread disruption and potential data loss. But how are these ransomware groups infiltrating VMware ESG servers? Much like other ransomware attacks, it often begins with exploiting known vulnerabilities or gaining unauthorized access to the servers. Once inside, the attackers deploy ransomware payloads, encrypting VMs and demanding payment for their release. The implications of such attacks are dire. Beyond the immediate financial costs, organizations risk operational downtime, reputational damage, and regulatory scrutiny. And with virtualized environments becoming increasingly prevalent, the potential impact of a successful attack is amplified. To bolster defenses against ransomware targeting VMware ESG servers, organizations should adopt a multifaceted approach. This includes regularly patching and updating software, implementing network segmentation to contain potential infections, and deploying intrusion detection systems to swiftly identify and respond to threats. Well, there you have it, folks. 3 stories that underscore the diverse and evolving nature of cyber threats in today's digital landscape. But remember, knowledge is power, and by staying informed and proactive, we can better protect ourselves and our organizations from falling victim to cyber adversaries. Before we sign off, I want to remind you to subscribe to the Daily Threat for your daily dose of cybersecurity insights and news. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay safe, and keep fighting the good fight against cybercrime.